sa Zoom. Ayan, go live stream na. Okay na?
The idea of outliving or being able to use your assets in a manner that's different from the original source or like the original game is something so powerful that people nowadays do not really understand. And
it takes really, really good, well, number one, tokenomic design to support a sustainable game, the vision of a sustainable game, and number two, I personally think it's going to be here for the long term. And I guess the reason people are scared that it's just hype or fun is because of the price. And you guys were right. Price is essentially really what brought NFTs to the mainstream.
Or whether you're optimizing for a specific profile, it has to be, back to its roots of like providing entertainment. And then you allow the people to choose like which segment they want to go for, whether they want to play to own or whether they want to play to earn.
I'll tell you about BreederDAO. What we essentially are is that we are the factory of the metaverse. So we got our start by producing NFTs in blockchain games where the production or the upgrading of an NFT is an in-game mechanism.
The idea of outliving or being able to use your assets in a manner that's different from the original source or like the original game is something so powerful that people nowadays do not really understand. And
it takes really, really good, well, number one, tokenomic design to support a sustainable game, the vision of a sustainable game, and number two, I personally think it's going to be here for the long term. And I guess the reason people are scared that it's just hype or fun is because of the price. And you guys were right. Price is essentially really what brought NFTs to the mainstream.
Or whether you're optimizing for a specific profile, it has to be, back to its roots of like providing entertainment. And then you allow the people to choose like which segment they want to go for, whether they want to play to own or whether they want to play to earn.
I'll tell you about BreederDAO. What we essentially are is that we are the factory of the metaverse. So we got our start by producing NFTs in blockchain games where the production or the upgrading of an NFT is an in-game mechanism.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the day 3 of our Genesis Blocks BreederDAO Hackathon, a virtual blockchain hackathon in partnership with Stack League. I am Isai, and I'll be your host for this afternoon's event. So I assume all of our participants are in the call already. And if not yet, please call in your group members for them to join, since we will be starting our demo proper in a while. And with that one, I would like to announce that out of 10 teams who registered, only 4 teams survived over the weekend. Congratulations to the 4 teams on making it this far. Congratulations, grabe. Congrats! And before we dive into our demo and judging, we would like to give you an overview of BreederDAO. Stack League's head of growth, Haifa Karina Baluyos, will help me with that.
All right. So thank you so much, Isai, for the warm welcome. And of course, for congratulating all of our participants who made it for this weekend. So today, just before we do the judging, we know you prepared for the demos, for your applications, and we hope that you really considered the criteria for judging, which will be recapped later on. But to share with you just an overview on who BreederDAO is and why are they doing this. Why are they doing this blockchain hackathon? What is the background of BreederDAO actually? So that would be the agenda for this talk. And in the next few minutes, you will learn about them. So BreederDAO's company vision is breathing life into the metaverse. And what does that mean? And with that one, what BreederDAO does as of today is that BreederDAO is the go-to production factory for gaming assets within the metaverse. And with that one, BreederDAO generates quality assets that deliver the best value at scale for play and earn games. So if you are playing these games like Axie Infinity and all of those other games, these are the opportunities that you can leverage from BreederDAO. And with a combination of innovation and experience, BreederDAO are building ground-level infrastructure to help metaverse gaming guilds generate a continuous loop of player participation. So if you are a player in the metaverse, this is a really huge opportunity for you, because not just with the current services, with the current offerings of BreederDAO today, there are more to come. So stay tuned for that one. And as for the company's mission, BreederDAO's mission is a pillar of blockchain gaming ecosystem and virtual worlds, providing quality assets to the next billion users. So as of today, there are over 300 plus guilds and 20 plus games that BreederDAO is in partnership with, and it continues to grow. So stay tuned for all of these other partnerships. But these are just some of them that we would like to highlight. So we have Axie Infinity, Cypher, Cyball, Krabada, Wonder Hero, Pegasi, and Metalcore. So there are a lot more partners coming right up. So stay tuned to their websites and social media channels as they will continue to make these announcements. And of course, okay, so for a quick overview on what are the highlights that we have for BreederDAO in the last few months, watch this video.
The idea of outliving or being able to use your assets in a manner that's different from the original source or like the original game is something so powerful that people nowadays do not really understand. And
It takes really good, well, number one, tokenomic design to support a sustainable game, the vision of a sustainable game, and number two,
I personally think it's going to be here for the long term. And I guess the reason people are scared that it's just hype or fun is because of the price. And you guys were right. Price is essentially really what brought NFTs to the mainstream, like you said.
So for me, building a game, you don't necessarily need to think about like whether you're designing a more sustainable economy or whether you're optimizing for a specific profile. It has to be, back to its roots of like providing entertainment. And then you allow the people to choose like which segment they want to go for, whether they want to play to own or whether they want to play to earn.
I'll tell you about BreederDAO. What we essentially are is that we are the factory of the metaverse. So we got our start by producing NFTs in blockchain games where the production or the upgrading of an NFT is an in-game mechanism.
Okay, there you go. And as you've seen in the highlights video, BreederDAO team has been everywhere. They've been in Paris, Texas, Korea, and they've also been to Japan. So they have been everywhere around the world doing these partnerships, doing this talk. So they've been really exposed to what they're doing right now. And there are so many opportunities for you here, especially if you are into this space. So blockchain, that means there are so many opportunities for you here at BreederDAO. And speaking of opportunities, we have here, if you are looking for opportunities, working opportunities full-time, or if you know someone who's really good or who are also very interested in this space, these are the full-time opportunities waiting for you. So here are some of them. So in technology, you can read them through there. We also have opportunities for people. So talent acquisition specialists, there are also in data, finance, marketing, and PR, and business development. So if you are looking for growth opportunities, then you have opportunities here at BreederDAO. So if you are interested, just send directly your messages to people@breederdao.io, or there is also a link here, apply.workable.com/BreederDAO. Actually, we also have the head of people here at BreederDAO and also watching this session. So she can directly receive your applications once you send it to people@breederdao.io. So if you are not looking, you guys are already working right now, but you also have, let's say, siblings or friends or org mates or schoolmates who are interested to do internships, BreederDAO also is also open to interns. So there are different opportunities here. So there's tech project management, front-end developer, back-end developer, and software architect intern. So it's really good for you guys, especially if you have siblings or you have friends who are looking for internships right now, and they are into blockchain or Axie Infinity or these kinds of games. This is a really good exposure for them to get into, and it's also one of the booming industries today. So being there first is one of the advantages if this is something that you want to pursue as part of your career. So again, same where to send the resumes, just send it to people@breederdao.io. And with that one, I think, okay. So finally, if you want to learn more about the opportunities, the one we shared earlier are the opportunities available today. But of course, in the next few weeks, there will be available opportunities. So follow. Check out their websites and follow their social media channels. So BreederDAO is active on Twitter. So just look for BreederDAO. They're also on LinkedIn. So that's BreederDAO. And definitely, if you want to be part of the BreederDAO community, they are very active and growing at Discord. So just look at BreederDAO official. And with that one, thank you everyone. And I hope you see there are so many opportunities at BreederDAO for you. And we hope after this session, you have some people in mind, or you yourself is evaluating, oh, I think it's interesting here at BreederDAO and you want to be part of the team. So there, if you are interested to apply, it's people@breederdao.io. And you can follow them on the social media channels so that you can learn more about the opportunities, not just for career opportunities, but other opportunities like the guilds they part, the services they offer, and all of the other opportunities waiting for you. And with that one, thank you everyone. Now I'll turn it over back the floor to our host, Isai. Isai?
Thank you so much, Haifa, for giving us an overview of BreederDAO. And now, before we proceed with our demo proper, so we would like to go over once again for our criteria for judging. Right? So our criteria for judging consists of, first is the user experience and design, which is 20%, uniqueness, 20%, technical complexity, 20%, practicality, 20%, X factor, 20%, with a total of 100%. So this was also sent to all of our participants ahead of time. So please do take note. And with that, I would like to introduce to everyone the mentors for our hackathon this weekend. So we are very thankful for their presence and the mentorship during the hackathon. First off, I would like to reintroduce our first mentor, who is the blockchain development lead at UBX Philippines, Mr. Marco Romero. Our second mentor is a blockchain developer at BreederDAO, Mr. Paul Cass. Our third mentor is a full stack developer at BreederDAO, Mr. Jerac Dialino. And lastly, our fourth mentor is a senior front-end developer at BreederDAO, Mr. Renard Marquez. And to also give you a message, a mentor message to all of our participants, I would like to call in the presence of Mr. Renard Marquez.
Hello, guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. So again, hello, everyone, especially to the teams. Glad to see you all today. Again, I am Renard, developer at BreederDAO. And we thank you for participating in this hackathon. And yeah, congratulations to the 4 teams that made it this far. And we're all very excited to see all your ideas using blockchain technology. And we know that working with this frontier tech is very difficult. It's very complicated. Plus, you built it. You built your dApps for a very short period. Yeah, but you're still here. So yeah, you should be proud of yourselves, and yeah, consider yourself as pioneers of the Web3 space here in the Philippines. So yeah, we know you built amazing things, and hopefully, eventually you built a startup around it, or yeah, come work with us. Come, let's collaborate and build your products together, and so on and so forth. So yeah. Again, thank you for participating in this hackathon, and we wish you all good luck in your demo. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Renard, for that warm message to our participants. And to all of our participants, I know you are all excited and perhaps nervous at the same time. But before that, I would like to reintroduce again our judges for this afternoon's demo and judging. Our first judge is the Chief Technology Officer at BreederDAO and a member of Forbes Magazine's 30 Under 30 list, Mr. Nico Udulio. Our second judge for this afternoon's demo is a startup solutions architect at Amazon Web Services, Mr. Leon Carlo Valencia. And our third judge is one of our mentors also, is a blockchain development lead at UBX Philippines, Mr. Marco Romero. All right, and with that one, so before we proceed with our presentations for this afternoon, so I would like to give you a gentle reminder for this afternoon's demo. First is that teams will have 8 minutes. So please take note of the time for your presentation. You will be given 8 minutes to present. And after that one, we will be having 7 minutes for Q&A. So please take note of the time. We will also be sending you reminders from time to time at our message box. So perhaps one of the team members could also monitor the time, so we will be giving you reminders if your time is about to end. Second is that strictly no presentation slides, only application demo. And please use our official Zoom background since you will be required to turn on your camera for the presentation. And with that one, I would like to give you the order of our presentation. The first team to present is Team Glean with the app name Pondo. Next team would be 10 billion points with the app name K-pop Next Big Sound. Team Tofi with an app name NFT Breeding. And lastly would be Team Bathala with an app name Government Fund System. All right. So, and with that one, we would like to invite our first team. Team Glean, are you already here? Okay, you may turn on your cameras and microphones. Team Glean. Okay, checking if... Okay, do we have the members of our team here right now? Let me check. Ralph, Brian, and Marco. All right. So you can actually start sharing your screen while waiting for your other member. All right. Team Glean, are you all in?
Hello, ma'am. Marco can't share his screen po. He doesn't have permission.
Oh, okay. Sige, for a while. Okay, so we'll give access. All right, so okay, so before we start,
Ma'am, sorry po, we are waiting for one more member pa po. Hindi po
sure.
siya makapasok.
All right, sure, no problem. We still have time pa naman. So let him retry to join the call.
Thank you po.
All right. So is he in already, Brian?
Not yet po, ma'am. He's Ralph po, Ralph Bernardino.
Okay. He was here a while ago already, but okay.
Yes po, ma'am. He got disconnected. It seems his Zoom won't open po.
In the meantime, Brian, is it okay? Would you be able to proceed without Ralph for now? Like habol na lang si Ralph or siya magrepresent?
Okay, ma'am. I can proceed with the intro, but Ralph will be
Sige.
in charge of the demo. So.
Okay. Sige. Pahabol na lang natin si Ralph. Okay. Sige. So with that one, we can start with your... okay. Here, we can see Ralph now. He's joining in.
So,
sige,
okay.
let's wait for Ralph na lang. I think he's in na naman. So with that one, Brian, we can already start. So once you start talking, that would be the start of your time then. Okay? Sige, that's it. Good luck, Brian and team.
So, good day. We're Team Green, comprised of Mr. Marco Visaya, Mr. Ralph Bernardino, and myself, Brian Manaban. So, starting off, most of us are probably already acquainted with existing crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter, GoFundMe, or Indiegogo. So, the great thing about these platforms is that they allow us to find and give financial support to projects or causes that we might be interested in. So, in conducting transactions in these platforms, like pledging or funding, these platforms act as like third-party intermediaries between the creator and the donors. So they are operating under this trust-based system where we put our trust in these third parties to direct our transactions towards the proper channels. So the application we're presenting today is Pondo, which is a fully decentralized crowdfunding application. So with Pondo, every transaction like donate or withdraw, they are instead handled through smart contracts. And as we know, smart contracts, once they are deployed in the blockchain, they are already set in stone. So with smart contracts, we can be sure that our transactions are going through the proper channels. So this kind of trustless system is, of course, one of the perks of implementing a decentralized application. So when a fundraiser is created, it is stored as a smart contract in the blockchain, and donors would be able to send Ethereum to the smart contract. And only the owner of the smart contract on the blockchain can withdraw the accumulated Ethereum. So for the demo of the application, is Mr. Ralph here already?
Yes, I'm already here. Am I heard, Mr. Manabat?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you po. All right, so for the demonstration of the interface of the Pondo project, upon going to the localhost URL or the URL, if it is hosted online, it will go to this page. This can be considered as the Discover Pondos. Here, we can see all of the submitted Pondos into the system. There's also a Pondo categories on the right side pane to help the users filter out the registered Pondos in the system. On the navigation bar, we have the Discover. So basically, the Discover will point back to the Discover screen or to the Discover screen. Next is the My Pondo. Okay, My Pondo. My Pondo interface contains all of the submitted Pondos by the user registered to a specific address. For example, help cookie, the Pondo of help cookie is submitted by the specific address. Okay, opening a Pondo, okay, we can see a broad details, including the image, the title, the tag of the Pondo, including the detail, and the pond donor words. This is also the place where if you are the submitter or if you are the one who created the Pondo, this is also the place wherein you can withdraw funds if there is any accumulated by the donors. Okay, so let's proceed to the create a Pondo. Okay, so create a Pondo. This is the interface that will assist in creating a Pondo. So first, it will ask if what is the tags or what is the category the Pondo should be. So for example, let's click education, Mr. Visaya. Okay, then for the education, it will ask for the necessary information, including the images, the name, the title, the goals, and the details. Okay, could you fill up the information, Mr. Visaya? Okay, so upon clicking the continue, it will show a summary of what the Pondo will be or what will the Pondo will consist if it is being submitted. It contains the images, the title, the tag, also the description. Upon confirming, users should keep in mind that every data is stored in IPFS. So the time that it would take for the Pondo to reflect on to the discover section might take a minute or two. May take a minute or two. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, the data is currently being fetched to the IPFS network. So it will take a moment before it appear onto the Discover Panda screen, right? So for the code highlights, it will then be presented by Mr. Marco Visaya and Brian Christopher Manabat.
So for the code highlights, yes, so our application is fully decentralized. So we're not storing on any database. As Mr. Bernardina said, we are storing actually on the IPFS network. And for the My Pondos that was demonstrated earlier, as you can see, we don't have a login function because we're actually referring to the account that is currently active on MetaMask. So the account currently active on MetaMask is the account that has the Pondo for help cookie. So we can actually try to fund a Pondo. So let's choose this one because it's the yes. So let's try to donate whatever amount you want, Mr. Bisaya. I'll leave it to you.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, you heard.
Thank you.
For the donation part, we can only donate if the current crowd fund is not that is not the one that we already own. For example, here some details, including the smart contract address and the amount of Ethereum we want to donate. Example, we want to donate for Ethereum for this project, and you can also leave a message or your name. For now, we'll leave it now because it's optional. So you click the donate button, then it will trigger the MetaMask's notification. Then, as you can see here are the details. By clicking confirm, it should reflect. As you can see here, we donated for Ethereum. So now the total Ethereum for this project is now 16 Ethereum. Actually, we exceed the goal for this project, which is 11, and the owner of this project can now withdraw this project. And for example,
So yes, I think that's it for the so the full functionalities have already been displayed. So we can see the pondos and we can actually donate already.
yes, and if we change our account in the MetaMask, it should the current project should also change. For example, we switch to account number 2. Press account number 2. We reload the page. As you can see, we can now withdraw the funds of this project because account 2 owns this project. And what happens if we withdraw all of the funds?
All right. Thank you so much, Team Green. Your time is up. And now we proceed with our question and answer portion. For our judges who would like to ask first.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Hello?
There. Yes, Nico, we can hear you.
All right, thank you so much, Team Glean. Great presentation. Thank you so much for starting us off. I'm a big fan of Kickstarter. When I was a big fan when it came out, really interesting concept, and you guys created your own blockchain version here. So good job there. Just a couple of notes here actually from me. So for the UX, UI, it's good. You got a good base going on there. I would recommend just a couple of things to clean up, and it would look a lot better for your next presentations if you do decide to go forward with this idea. So in blockchain, we normally put the number or the value before the currency. So it should be like 16 ETH instead of like ETH 16 or ETH 11. Very minor detail, but it goes a long way. You know, blockchain communities can be very harsh. So they can be very particular about things like that. Another thing that I think would help in terms of like the UX would be maybe like an FAQ portion, or at least more text to direct their attention to the next call to action in your flow. You guys know this, you're React devs, so you're very familiar with this. And it's doubly important when it comes to blockchain because you're dealing with a lot of sensitive financial data here. So yeah, take a look at that. And I like what I think it was Brian that mentioned that you were saying that it's completely decentralized, and that's great. That's one of the core ethos of blockchain. To take it a step further, you could actually, including the front end, you could decentralize even that. So you won't even need like a server for it. There's tech out there on the blockchain that allows for this. You can take a look at Arweave. Arweave allows for permanent React front ends to be deployed. So maybe that's something interesting for you. You can come back to me if I have any more questions. This is just really my notes for now. Maybe Marco has more to grill you with, but yeah, great job, guys.
Thank you, Sir Nico.
Yeah, hi guys, Dressing Project. Can you tell us more about your tech stack? I know you mentioned a few earlier, but maybe you can be more detailed.
Hello, sir. I can tell more about our tech stack. Uh, for our tech stack, we use Hardhat for locally developing the blockchain and hosting it locally as well. And for the front end, we use Bit and React for faster development. And for storing large data such as image and description, we actually stored it off chain since it will it will be it will be inefficient to store large files into the main blockchain itself. So we just store it on IPFS, then get get the metadata URI, then store that metadata URI in the blockchain. So that's, I think that's all of our tech stack.
Okay, interesting. I like how you actually went with the decentralized approach of actually doing things, because for a lot of projects, especially for new people in blockchain, they normally do it in a way that still has an RDS or a database, right? So I appreciate that you used IPFS for the data. Nico mentioned something about even decentralizing the front end, but it's a good next step. A lot of projects still host their own. A lot of projects even still use databases, but really the use of IPFS is a good step. Can you tell us more about why you think people would opt to use Pondo rather than to use Kickstarter or the similar platforms out there?
Okay, one of the reasons we chose this because we're really a fan of the trustless system of the Web3, where we can mathematically now instead of the trust-based systems before where we have to trust third parties especially with our money, with like in Web3 with smart contracts and all, we can now be sure, or there's like a mathematical certainty that, for example, in funding, we know because smart contracts are stored in the blockchain, we are certain that the donations that we are actually giving will go to the people that we want to give them to. So that's one of the core reasons why people may want to use it.
Okay, thank you. Another question, actually, probably my last question is, if you had more time, what other features would you have added to this project?
Actually, we plan on a feature that automatically refunds all of the donations whenever the goal is not met for a certain time. And another feature we plan on is to I think for the donors to leave messages, and because actually we are not storing the messages as well as their names. It is only optional. So there is an option for that. And another thing is the optimization of our fetching time, because we all know that fetching data into the IPFS is slow. As you can see here on our demonstration, it actually takes time to fetch the data. So we can work on that to speed that up, maybe.
Okay, thank you very much. Nico?
Yeah, so just, I think we've got like a few minutes left. You mentioned that you were looking into exploring automatic refunds. Do you have like an outline or maybe pseudocode in your head for how that would go? At least the process or the flow for that. Any initial thoughts? I'd love to hear what you have cooking up.
So there's it's actually, you can actually, I think, kind of implement it already, but because we have like in our smart contracts, we are actually storing how much the how much a person like sends to the smart contract, so we know how much we can refund them. So I think that's a crucial first step. So actually, I take it back. I don't think we can actually deploy it anytime soon, but I think we already have the bare bones for such a thing, such an implementation.
Right. Yeah, so automatically sending it out might be a little challenging. Where you could probably start is exploring simply just setting like a public function that anybody could call in the event that a raise fails or does not meet your threshold. I think that would be a good starting point, so that it would not be centralized, right? Just in the event that the owner is a black hat and just holds the funds hostage, a public function would very simply allow for, with the correct checks in place, of course, allow anybody to rescue the funds, so to speak. So you could start there. Yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So thank you so much, Team Glean, for your presentation. I'm not sure if Isai is already back. Isai, are you back?
Yep.
Ayon. So thank you so much. Again, congratulations to Team Glean for your presentation. And thank you so much, Nico and Marco, for your questions and really valuable inputs for the team. Ayon. So Isai, take it away.
Thank you so much to our judges, and congratulations to Team Glean. Now we proceed with our next team, Team 10 billion points. All right, so let me check if you are already here. Team 10 billion points. All right. And I don't think he is here. So with that one, to not waste time, so let's proceed to our next team, Team Tofi. Team Tofi. Team Tofi, are you here already? All right, let me just check. All right, Kenny, are you already in the call? Okay, checking if Kenny is already here with us for a while.
Okay, Isai, while waiting for Toffee and 10 billion, maybe we can proceed with the next team because they are already here na naman.
Mm-hmm. All right, so baka na-disconnect lang. I think I saw the names here kanina. But okay, so we proceed with the next team. So while waiting for the other team, can we proceed with Team Bathala?
Okay. Good afternoon, guys. So let me share my screen. Is it okay if I share my screen? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
Ken. You can
Alright.
share your screen. Do you have access already? Let us know if you there. Okay na. Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So, so we are Team Bathala, and let me give you guys a short preview on the description of the project. So this project it's a system that has to be implemented in the government. So the country of Philippines will be implementing dual currency. One is pesos, the physical one that we have right now, and the other is pine coins that will be used by government officials to use for buying and repairing government structures, facilities, and vehicles. So pine coins is a token we created. It's from our word Philippines. Two people can only deposit and withdraw it. Can the one that can deposit it is the president. He will be converting pesos into pine coins. And the second one is the one that can withdraw are authorized suppliers, the one that supplies the materials. They can convert pine coins into pesos. So there's only one way in and one way out. And let's proceed with the demo. So right now I am logged in as a mayor. So this is the mayor's view. We have here the balance. It has been fetched in the MetaMask and the account. And this is a map. We're using map because it's widely used like for planning. It's an bird's eye view. So you can actually plan it properly. You can see the whole situation of the country or the one that you are assigned. Like for example, in Cebu. So we have here in this panel in the left side is a list of requests. The data that will be displayed here is coming from the barangay captains. They will be requesting money such as for repairing and like buying stuff for government constructions. And so let's switch to barangay's view. So I have here already loaded. It's in barangay's view. And they have the same view, but the left panel is different. There's a request, and so as a barangay captain, I am planning to request for like 100,000. Is this 100? Okay, 100,000 fine coins for repairing canal for for the Baha that we are experiencing right now. And also I added some decimal. It's how tokens work. We add 18 decimal so that we could get the exact amount. And let's try sending it. Confirm. And let's not wait. Let's speed up the transaction. So right now I have zero balance, zero fine coins. And let's switch to mirror's view. I am now in the mirror's view. So we have here 850,000 fine coins. Let's refresh. And there you go. We can see a request. Reggie from barangay number 3 is requesting money amount of 100,000 fine coins. The reason is for repairing canal. So there's a zoom icon here. If you click it, it will generate and then you will have a meeting with the mayor. Why are you requesting such things? And let's try to accept his request. So what's happening right now is there are two transactions. One is sending pine coins to another person. And then the next one is, let's wait for this. So as you can see, the loading will only stop when the transaction is in MetaMask is done. Let's wait for it a bit. So the next transaction is delete request. So I'm going to delete this in the blockchain. So what happened here is there are two transactions in the backend. I shouldn't have done that. It should have been in the in the one method in my Solidity, but still I did it anyway. So the proper way it should be done in one method in the Solidity. So let's confirm delete request, speed up. So we have successfully transferred the money. And if we refresh, there's going to be a deduction of 100,000. So this is 750. There you go. That's 750,000 fine coins. Now let's switch to the barangay's view. I'm going to refresh this. And we have our fine coins. Now the next step for this is it's not implemented. It's the plan is for barangay captains, they're going to buy materials for their construction to the authorized suppliers. These authorized suppliers are authorized by the president to accept fine coins, and when they accept the fine coins, they're going to withdraw it. I mean, to convert it into pesos, and that's how they make profit with. So let's go back to the mayor's view. We are in mayor's view now. Let's click the track transactions. So the good thing about this app is you don't have to trust other employees. You'll just have to monitor the Etherscan transactions. Etherscan transactions are a public database. So when I learned blockchain, I used to call this blockchain as database. So let's check our code. So I have here smart contracts version 1.2.3.4. So there was a lot of trial and error. So let's check our find.sol. This is where we create our token. And since I treat blockchain as database, we also have tables, barangay.sol, request.sol. So in barangay.sol, it should be CRUD, but I only used the most important one, creating barangay. That's where we register barangay 1, 2, 3, and we retrieve the barangays. So let's go to the request table. We have here the ones that we only need: create, delete, and getting all the list of requests. So the deleted requests are still in the blockchain, but there's a code here that it only retrieve the active ones by using this enum. It's where you just where you set your status of your request. So we have here the columns of the request. We can see this column is responsible for querying the yes, which are not deleted, no is not deleted. So that's how I treat. That's one way to learn blockchain fast. And so next is wait. So next is why would people want this? Etherscan is public. Wait, 1 minute. So Etherscan is public and it is transparent, and any person in the world can do their own investigation. So right here, what we're seeing is a transaction converted from Etherscan. So this is it's very hard to read. So we only need to fetch the API, connect to their API, and then get the transaction, convert it to something more readable. And we have here transaction. This three transaction is requested by actually I forgot to tell you. To be honest, this one is not yet integrated here. I'm not retrieving data from the Etherscan. It's a task that we couldn't make it this morning, so it's not connecting. This is the next plan actually. So we have here, we can see that 3G is requesting money. When he requests the money, he bought some materials to an authorized supplier, Rakuten, because Rigi is trying to create an event, a race marathon. And then the authorized supplier, which is the Rakuten race, they withdraw the money into the 450,000 pine coins into 450 pesos. So that's how it is being tracked, and it is very transparent times up. Okay, thank you. I think that's it.
All right, thank you so much, Ken. So now we are open to questions from our judges. Can you please continue sharing your application? All right. Here.
Hi, Ken, right?
Hello.
The idea of using blockchain to fight against corruption and to help traceability and auditability, it's a good one. Actually, a lot of talk and discussions being done for that. The most difficult part will probably be selling the product to a government and actually having them use it. So that's probably what you need to work on, right? The pitch to the government and why they should use it. You showed us your code earlier for smart contracts. I want to mention that it might not be the best thing to refer to the blockchain as a database and to your smart contracts as tables. It sets you with the wrong kind of mindset, and it might enforce you to use it as a database. I've noticed that you had requests and barangays earlier, and you treated them as tables. A better way to have approached this was to have requests actually facilitate the transfer. I see from what happened earlier was that you create an ERC. When you transfer, you do it as an ERC20 transaction, but there is a way to actually implement that through your smart contract. That when you try to approve a request, the request smart contract could be the one transferring the ERC20 and simultaneously closing your request as well. Because you mentioned earlier you did it in 2 transactions, right?
Yeah,
So that might have been a better way to do it. But I think the most important thing is to try to reframe your mindset. Don't look at it as a database, because it might enforce bad practices when you're using blockchain.
Okay.
For questions, if you had more time, what other features would you have added to this?
Actually, there's a lot. So one thing was in the list of requests, there was this Zoom icon. If you click it, it will generate a URL and then invite the people involved. So that one is not implemented here. I think I forgot to mention. So that one, and also the other is the track transactions. I have already worked on retrieving the transaction and then the block. And the next thing is by converting it into something readable for non-techie. And other else, there will be an admin's view where they register new barangays, or when they first launch this project, you need to register all of it, right? So that one as well. And so far, I think that's I could tell you, but there's still a lot more.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Nico?
Yeah, thanks, Marco. I think Leon is also in the call now. If we could get some assistance from Isai and Haifa, he might have his own 2 cents for the presentation if he caught it. On my end, thank you so much, guys. You know, when I was starting in blockchain, this was one of the first things that I was considering or thinking about. So hats off to you for making my childhood dreams come true. Hopefully you push forward with it. It's a great concept. It's a great thing, I think, to create this concept of absolute accountability and transparency for government units. It's an admirable project for sure. Decentralizing national budgets, and things of that nature. So again, notes from me, more notes rather than questions, really. I noticed that you and the last team both use Rinkeby. Very minor aside, but if you don't already know, Rinkeby, Robston, and one other testnet will be deprecated soon in preparation for the merge occurring on the 15th of September. So you might want to change up your stack to point to Gorley or Sepolia. They're going to be the ones that stick around for the post merge. For UX, very minor. You guys know what to do with this stuff, but it also goes into a little bit on interacting with Ethers.js or Web3.js. I'm not sure what you guys used, but you mentioned like refreshing manually earlier. There's also a way for you to listen for events or confirmations of transactions, and then configure your dApp or your application to refresh. Not Solidity, in the JavaScript libraries for the dApp. So Web3.js, yeah, or Ethers.js. You can listen for transactions on your MetaMask or on the blockchain. Okay. You mentioned this already, I think, a little bit, but I'd like to dive into it because I think this portion is one of the things that you need to cover in order for it to be feasible outside of like government institutions taking it up. It's the service providers, or I think you mentioned like an accredited list of suppliers. Did you mean like a service provider for the conversion of Pine coins into the Philippine currency? Is that what you meant with that?
I think like for example, Tayheo Cement Company, like that provides stones, and so that company will accept Pine coins, and when he receives the Pine coins, what would he do with it? So he will convert it into pesos, and he is authorized and allowed to do it.
Got it. Okay. Another option for you would be to look into like service providers, maybe like PDAX or PayMaya or other cryptocurrency on-ramp institutions that we have in the Philippines to assist you with converting it directly into Philippine pesos, instead of relying on suppliers in a sort of like it's kind of like a barter system is what I'm understanding from your answer. Both are okay.
I did that on purpose because so when the president like he distribute the money as Pine coins, so that the other employees, they don't have to withdraw it, they don't have to convert it, like takes like 100,000 pesos, no one would notice it. So I mean, it's not allowed for them to withdraw that money. So the money is only used for government things.
Okay, got it. Okay, so it's by design. Okay.
So what's the value of Pine coin? Is it 1 coin to 1 peso?
Yes, for now. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
1:1.
Okay, so it's a stable coin basically. Got it.
Stable.
Okay. That's it for me for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you too.
All right. Before we move on, maybe since we already have Leon here, Leon, do you have questions for our team?
Yeah, actually just one thing. This is not really blockchain related or technical related. It's just something that that I've noticed among startups, or how startups work, because that's who I mostly work with. But I guess what's the plan to? I think Marco, or I think what it was Nico who mentioned it, that it's a hard sell for government. I mean, pretty much anything that would change things or disrupt things is something that is difficult to sell to the government. However, one of the one of the things that I've noticed is, and maybe you can think something along this line to answer this question, is one of the things that I've noticed that startups tend to do, or those who are successful at least at pitching their idea, is to answer the question, what's in it for the person that you're selling it to, not something idealistic, like for example, to reduce corruption, or I mean that's for the greater good. But for example, maybe something more concrete. I'll give another example. Perhaps if you're selling a technology to make the crops better for in agriculture. The typical mindset of a farmer is, okay, I won't get this, or I won't adopt this technology because of some personal reason. So that's what you need to go up against. So in this case, if you're going to pitch it, let's say even at a small scale, you're just going to pitch it at a barangay level, or even at a city level, or at a provincial level. What can you put in your app? What can you think of to put in your app so that it would make it a lot easier for the people who will use it to actually adopt your technology? What's in it for them? I suppose
Okay, I think
that's the point of the
I
question.
get it. Okay. Yeah, so if I sell this to example like to a mayor,
Yep.
I would tell him that what do you feel when you distribute the money to the barangay? He would probably feel having trust issues, like no peace of mind. So the solution for this is that mayor will have his own peace of mind. He doesn't care how much he will give, doesn't care. He doesn't have to think that this person is we can trust this person. We don't really care because we can always go track the transactions and we will see where the money is flowing, where does it go, where it's being buy, and who is withdrawing it. So it's a peace of mind.
Now, that's something that I would recommend that you put front and center in your UI UX, so that someone who's trying to use it would immediately know, that's the benefit for me. That's why I would use this. So it's something more it's something more marketing, I suppose, and something more on the business side of things rather than a technical side of things. But yeah, that's just my question and suggestion.
Right.
Yeah, great points, Leon. Thank you for that, and glad you could join us. With blockchain, there's lots of projects that are technically superior to their competition, but don't see the light of day precisely because they're not great marketers, or they're not they don't express their USPs really well. So I agree and concur with what Leon said. It's important to think about that, and that's why that was actually the first category that we mentioned with in terms of like judging, because there are a lot of like innovative smart contracts out there that are made up in like 10 lines of code, but they're pervasive and popular because of business reasons, either because they were first movers or they just really marketed well and partnered well with a lot of other staple institutions. So yeah, really think about those portions as well if you do pursue this or in your later projects.
Okay.
Okay, so anything else, Marco, Nico, and Leon, for final additional questions or comments? All good?
I think I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ken, for your presentation. And thank you so much for our judges for your inputs. Now, as we move on to the next one, we are actually having difficulty reaching out to the last two because the next Tofi had power interruption in their area. So this is the difficulty of having a hackathon that is virtual because they really cannot they cannot do presentations without internet and power. So that's one challenge. And the other one is also no longer responsive since since lunchtime. So we'll try to figure out what we'll do. Nico, Marco, and Leon, for the next two, are we going to still accept them or not anymore? But although with Tofi, it's somehow a valid reason. So maybe that's one thing that we can reconsider. But in the meantime, we'll take it as a pause for now for the two, and let's decide later on what we'll do with those two who already built their applications but couldn't present for this demo and judging. Okay. So with that one, Isai, what is our next part of the program?
All right, thank you so much, Haifa. Thank you so much, Nico, Marco, and Leon, and to the two teams who were able to present. Congratulations. So hopefully makahabol pa yung dalawa. So with that one, we proceed with our announcement. By the way, for those who are here with us this afternoon, please don't go yet, as before we end, we will be having our group photo. And with that one, I would like to proceed to the announcements. So to start, we would like to give you the monthly recap of BreederDAO for the months of May and June. All right. So for the month of May, this is what transpired. The Builder Ambassador Program Wave 2 has been launched. The Token Launch Action Recap article was published. The daily leaderboard winners airdrop, and the top 3 overall leaderboard NFT rewards airdrop. And with the partnership, so as you can see on the screen, and the communities have grown for the Discord, Twitter, right. And for the highlights, last May was a decrypting crypto and NFT opportunities, and the Forbes 30 under 30. Right, so now let's watch the June 2022 recap.
The idea of outliving or being able to use your assets in a manner that's different from the original source or like the original game is something so powerful that people nowadays do not really understand. And
it takes really, really good, well, number one, tokenomic design to support a sustainable game, the vision of a sustainable game, and number two,
I personally think it's going to be here for the long term. And I guess the reason people are scared that it's just hype or fun is because of the price. And you guys were right. Price is essentially really what brought NFTs to the mainstream, like you said.
So for me, building a game, you don't necessarily need to think about like whether you're designing a more sustainable economy or whether you're optimizing for a specific profile. It has to be, back to its roots of like providing entertainment. And then you allow the people to choose like which segment they want to go for, whether they want to play to own or whether they want to play to earn.
I'll tell you about BreederDAO. What we essentially are is that we are the factory of the metaverse. So we got our start by producing NFTs in blockchain games where the production or the upgrading of an NFT is an in-game mechanism.
And there you have it for our monthly recap. And we would also like to announce that voting for the DAO institution is now officially closed. And for the results of the BDIP1 DAO Institution proposal, 100% is in favor. Okay, next slide, please. Right, next slide. And of course, BreederDAO is also looking for interns. So for our participants and viewers who are looking for internship opportunity, so this might be something for you. You may send your resumes to people at BreederDAO.io with the position as your subject header. So there are openings such as tech project management, front-end developer, back-end developer, and software architect intern. And for those who are looking for job opportunities, now BreederDAO is also hiring a lot of positions right now for the technology, people, data, finance, marketing and PR, and business development. So make sure to submit your resumes to people at BreederDAO.io and make sure to use the positions as your subject header, or you may check apply.workable.com/BreederDAO for other positions available. All right, and with that one, so at this moment, we will be having our group photo. So requesting everyone who are in the Zoom call to please kindly turn on your cameras. All right, sige. So let's wait. Okay. Wait lang, checking. Parang iba yung view here. I need to do the gallery. All right. How about the others? Can others also turn on their cameras? Okay na ba? Sige. Right? So I'll take, we only have one screen lang. All right? So okay na? Turned on na? Okay? There. Sige, still waiting for the others. Alright, okay na siguro. Alright, so capturing. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one. 1, 2, 3. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Our first group photo. And with that one, congratulations once again to our participants this afternoon. And thank you also to our mentors and judges for your time over our weekend hackathon. So once again, thank you so much and congratulations. And reminding all that tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. is our awarding ceremony. So we will also be doing some of the announcements via our Discord server. And with that one, thank you so much, everyone. On behalf of the SAC League and BreederDAO team, I would like to say thank you for everyone who joined us for this afternoon's event. This has been Isai, your host. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.